problem. No problem for saying that. And before we go any farther, this is, we actually have two programs, two core programs for our students. The one that Charlotte's in charge of is it's called the Sciences Elementary Program, and it's for students ages 7 to 13. And so it is a year-long program, and these are the instructors and the subjects that they're teaching for the spring session. We're now in the last month of our spring session, well, next to the last month, it may be ended. But these are the university students that actually come over here to actually teach the classes. So they are the ones that prepare the curriculum and ours is hands-on science. So they have to have background in the area that they're doing it in order to do the hands-on piece. And this is not even a half an acre of property, but the architects who were local, one of them, well, two of them were local people, and they did a wonderful job because there's no straight line in here at all. It's, you know, all kind of different shapes, and so it's interesting. But we call this Inspiration Rotunda. Wow. And here you see we are celebrating our diversity because we have kids from different ethnical backgrounds and different cultures, and we want to make sure that when the kids come in, they know that everybody's welcome here and that there's a place for you at this organization. Watts, he was a school teacher, and he had this idea that he wanted kids to learn in a really fun, hands-on kind of way, and so he developed our model that we use now in the back of his classroom. And when he first started out, this was the little White House. This is where Ron and Jennifer first met us when we were doing our work here. And so we were in this building up until 2000, the year 2000. Yeah, we moved out in 2000. And even though it was just a little, you know, abandoned, condemned building, when we were in it, and when Mr. Watts took over, there was magic in there. The kids came in, they were happy, they were doing great little projects. We had converted the kitchen into a chemistry lab. We had converted the garage, became the electronics room, and the bathroom downstairs, the bedroom downstairs became the computer lab. And so we utilized the little house and made it our laboratory space. And if you were in this building, it's a two-story building, and you went downstairs, everybody who came in here had to hold on to the railing because the steps were so steep. And this is the railing from that building that we wrapped around here for us to kind of bring in our past, because you can't forget that and where you came from. And so this is one of our board members created this for us. He's an architect. He did a wonderful job.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And then here you'll see the different things that we talk to the kids about, you know, respect and character and honesty and how do you come together, because we have kids that come from 200 elementary schools coming together, and they may only be together for a week, or they may be able to be together for 2 weeks. And so how do you make it so that all of them get that experience that you want them to have? So a lot of our time, in addition to them going to the science labs, we have a program called Character Matters. And so we talk to them about these things that we feel are important, not only in science, but in your everyday life that you need to do. So those are the kinds of things that we do with the kids also. So this is where they come in and they get their morning or their afternoon messages, depending on which program it is. Our kids we only take 40 students at a time in any of our programs. And so the kids are divided by age, and so this will be our youngest group, group A, group B, C, and D. Now, we may have double sessions running in the summertime or on Saturdays. So we have 80 kids in the house at any one time, but there's never ever going to be more than 10 kids in a class at one time. Wow. You guys can come on in. Everett is the project manager for our Commission on Science and Matters.
Brandon.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Oh, Brandon, that's it. Because I was like,
I got two Brandons. This is Everett.
This is Everett. Hi, Everett.
This is
Ron
Everett.
Cummings. Nice to meet you.
Brandon,
Love the
nice
time.
to
So you want to tell them a little bit about your program?
Yes, so the Commission on Science That Matters is for our students 14 to 17. And we still do the hands-on component. but we also do what's more project-based learning, and we incorporate public speaking and advocacy. So we study issues in health, energy, water, and green living. Green living actually spanned 5 years, and so we've looked at water, in health, and then actually this past year, green transportation. So during the summer, we study the topics, we do experiments and presentations, and then during the fall, the students, we do our project-based learning, so we work with outside organizations to create projects that we then go out into the community and advocate and bring awareness to these issues. So we've had the opportunity to work with the National Park Service and go to the Channel Islands twice to conduct research. And as well, our big trip was to Glacier National Park in 2010. And we took 21 students and conducted climate change research there. And so that was huge. And then the students actually had the opportunity to attend PowerShift 2011 and present the research that we did with the scientists.
During the time we were out on the field trip, I noticed that when we were at the medical school, and the medical students were sitting in these kind of seats, taking notes and watching their professor or whatever, that automatically my kids got quiet. I was like, they knew when they walked in there that they were supposed to be very quiet. They knew something important was going on. So when we talked about space in here, I asked if we could do something like a lecture theater. So it's not performing, you know, there's no room for performance up here, but this is a great space for lectures and presentations. Wow. And so we have the, you know, the tabletops that come up. Second row is computerized, so you can actually hook up your computer to the internet and take notes in here. And so we bring the kids in here when there's special presentations going on and things like that. Or we also rent this space out to our to the community for, you know, a lot of people need this kind of space for whatever and rent.
All right.
Can we do it?
Yeah. So basically what they're doing today is learning about 3D modeling. There's a program out here called 123D Design, and it lets them build 3D models using shapes. Well, I'm going to show them basics right now. So basically with these shapes, it gives you like perspective. You can see how to build them. So what I have been doing today is try to build something like a robot, to like use all these different shapes, and then you could adjust them to. They could add this, make it to scale if they want to. They could even move them if they want to. Yeah, so they kind of have freedom to build something really creative, but yet like there's the technical things I want them to use, like different like sizes and everything.
Do they save them then, or how?
Yeah, they do save them. Right now we can't really render them because this is more of like a design program, but they do get like the chance to like show what they need.
So then they present them to their classmates? Or?
Yeah.
Nice.
So what are some of the other programs you guys have done?
We just finished PowerPoint because they kind of needed to have that because it's always something really necessary. So having to use PowerPoint, we had them. I wanted to start I think 2 weeks from now, I'm having to use HTML. They're going to learn about coding.
Great.
The dark room.
Oh, great.
Oh,
So we have our own dark room.
Yep.
Fine.
So all
This
those
would've been
photos
my
the kids developed
classroom.
themselves.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's so good that they know the traditional way it was done. Right.
Exactly.
Everybody now can just snap a picture, right?
Now they go to the people that know you the best. So these are your friends. And they can either say, yes, I think you can raise, I think at $2 million to build this building. And so time went on, she sent out the people, the teams, and they talked to people. And I kept saying, Jennifer, well, when are we going to hear anything about, you know, how the feasibility study went? So she was like, oh yeah, it'll be coming along. You know, whatever. I think it was a year or so later, after we had gotten our first $1 million commitment, that she then came back and said, well, you know what, if we had listened to your feasibility study, the people said that they didn't have the confidence that you guys could raise $2 million for this building. And so by her keeping that from us, we didn't know. We just kept doing the work and kept going on as if everything was whatever, and we put our whole heart into everything that needed to be done. And so not only when it first started out, she said it took 8 years. When it first started out, it was $2 million. And then it got to be $6.5 or $7 million in the end, and we raised all of that, paid for it, all done. So, big story in that one. So, the whole thing is that you can, you just move forward, do the work. And the other thing is that I learned from Jennifer and Ron was that you can't, they were going to open some doors for you. They were going to make some things happen. They were there to hear what was going on, to be your ears and whatever. But you had to take those steps to make it happen. And we never gave them that part away. So we continue to keep ownership of everything. And I think it was a valuable lesson for us to learn. That even with all of that was there, it still was on us to get the work done and to move it forward.